Good morning. Happy Wednesday. How are you feeling today? So we've got some construction going on here in the office. So I've just politely asked them to just press pause for 10 minutes so that we can do this, but there might be some interference. So apologies in advance if that's the case. So today's session, I'm going to jump straight into it. It's all about drains and radiators. So if you've ever been on any of my monthly mindfulness courses or you're part of the adrenal fatigue bundle, and even insomnia bundle as well, it's probably in there. I've talked about drains and radiators over the years. I've not talked about it for a little while actually. And this is the subject that I want to talk to you about today. So this again is coming back to authenticity in terms of yourself and what actually makes you feel good and what makes you feel drained, really. And it comes back to something that my friend said to me years ago, and we're just talking about people in general. And you hear that term, energy vampires, and you've probably got quite a few of those in your life, maybe, or not. And sometimes as we move through toxic relationships and friendships, we kind of dissolve those if we're mindful about it. But at the same time, sometimes those kind of people are in our lives and we love them and we want to keep them in our lives. So we'll come back to that later. But essentially, she was saying, you know what? Some people are just drained in that they drain your energy, they drain your mojo, and sometimes you even have to recover after being around certain people. Whereas other people are radiators. So in every way, they generate energy, they make you feel warm, you walk away feeling uplifted and more energized than before. And it's also about kind of checking in with yourself and going, where am I on this? Because I think we can all be a little bit of both from time to time. So it's not about kind of, shunning people off as such, unless it is a genuinely really toxic friendship or relationship. And then in that case, something needs to be looked at. But it's not just people. Okay, it can be situations and places. Now, what I tend to do with this, I'm just going to grab a big pen here. It's really, really simple. Hopefully, I picked the pen that works. Yeah, it works. Okay. All you do when you're doing this exercise, this was in my 10-day reset as well. I talked about it a lot in my online 10-day reset. You just draw a plus and a minus. So, as simple as that sounds, the hardest bit is actually being honest with yourself. So, before we go into what the other things are, is if you look at people, you think this is one of the hardest bits because you actually have to say to yourself, oh, I think Melody's just gone live in my in the membership at the same time. Yeah, you sometimes just have to be really honest with yourself and ask, what do I really enjoy spending time with this person? Do I get anything out of this relationship? Do I feel like I'm the one that's always giving? Hang on. So it's just all sorts of stuff going on my phone. I've just turned that bit off. Am I the one that's always chasing and asking? Am I the one that's do I just walk away feeling a bit like lethargic? And do I dread seeing this person? This could even be really close friends and family, by the way. And it is about being really honest and writing it down and going, yeah, they drain me. It doesn't mean you have to cut them out of your life, but it's just about acknowledging, right, what do I want to do about this? And being really empowered with it and going, right, well, I do want to keep them in my life, but I might only see them every now and then. And if I do see them, I make sure I'm not doing anything intense afterwards or before. It's the whole subject, and you might have seen my post in the tribe this morning talking about bringing back the monthly mindfulness workshops, which are deep diving into these kind of subjects. So I'll be bringing them back. But Wellness Wednesday tips are really just quick tips like this. We can go into more detail later. So it's about first outing it and saying, do you know what? Yeah. So for example, let me be really honest and say to you that playing dolls with Isla drains me. Right? Sometimes I'm sitting there talking with a doll being the voice of a doll, and I'm sat there thinking, oh my God, this is so depressing. Right? That is being authentically honest with yourself. But what you do with it is something different. So sometimes I'll be like, right, I'm just going to go with this and just put minimum effort in and be like, yeah, yeah, woo, with the doll. And other times I'm like, right, come on, Nick, let's get into it. Let's just put all our energy in. Let's just be in the moment and do it. Doesn't matter. But what I do know is that I need to dedicate that time with her, don't I? So that's the thing that she loves the most. So even if I give her just 10 minutes of dedicated energy, it's better than 30 minutes of just nah, nah, nah. So it's about how you deal with it, and it's about how you manage your own time and your boundaries. It could be that a certain friend who's really, really naggy, and yeah, you really, really love them, but they're just not moving forward. It's not toxic, but they just drive you crazy a little bit. So you also have to ask yourself, how much of the, you know, playing with the doll energy do you want to put in it? Is it like, right, come on, there's lots of different ways you can do it. Let's do this, let's do that. Or are you going to kind of sit back and go, yeah, that's a really good idea. Now, either way is fine, but if you find yourself putting too much energy and helping too much and you don't see any changes, maybe try stepping back a little bit, because you're using a lot of energy on somebody who might not be really using it and taking it. I'm great in those situations, in the way that if somebody puts a lot of effort in to suggesting something to me, I'm literally all ears. I'm like, yeah, yeah, come on, come on. I'll try that. I'll try that. I'm really, really open to feedback and criticism. And not everybody is, especially if they're not self-aware. So be mindful of how much energy you're putting into a certain person, and see if you can just step back a bit and take a little bit of energy out and just kind of nod and smile, right? So then there's places, okay, just start to become aware. Is it certain buildings? Are you empathic in that you pick up on energy? You know, is it certain situations? What drains you? What really just, you just get a dread, or you just knackered afterwards? And then on the opposite side of things, who, what, where, what kind of activities uplift you? And this could be huge things like a person or a certain event, like I've been talking a bit at the moment about going to shows. If I go to a show, I'm buzzing. I'm literally on a different frequency. I love shows. I love live music, things like this. I love dancing. So even though I could be physically tired from dancing, I'm on an energetic high. So what are the things, people, places that actually radiate that? And literally write names down so that you can start to think about the type of people that you might want to spend a little bit more time with, and how to again manage the people that maybe don't. So this, it's all about frequency, isn't it? So start to list things, and it can be also really subtle things. It's just things to start to be aware of, like the sun coming through on a grey day. That's something to become aware of. So write all these things down. A really good cup of coffee, or snuggling by the fire, a certain cuddle. These are all the things that bring your endorphins, your oxytocin, your serotonin, all these things in. What are the things that bring you down? So instead of just suppressing them and pushing away, just start to really be honest with yourself and go, them, this, that, because this is true empowerment. When you can really see it, just say no. Like if I do too many in-person events, one after the other, I'm completely flawed. Doesn't mean it's a negative thing. It doesn't mean I'm not enjoying it. It's just energetically, I can't do it. I can't keep up with it. It's taken me a really long time to learn that. Then you've got to consider things like your hormones and things that can come out of the blue. And that's still, even if you're post-menopausal, there's still a cyclical thing that happens with you and your hormones. So it's like, let's not try and be 100% all the time. And this is something that Jane from the membership, was talking about yesterday. Who knew that by not putting 100% in, you could actually get more out? And all this time we've been trying to be 100% perfect and 100% effort. And actually, what about if we just step back a bit? And that is the whole thing about Tai Chi, isn't it? Put less effort in, you get more out of it. I'm so glad you're with me on this one, Marina. I know that we're on the same wavelength. I know that we've got a lot of kind of similarities with this, and that's why That's why I'm here, to kind of remind you as I remind myself. So that is Wellness Wednesday tip today. Drains and radiators, have a go at it. It evolves. The more you're honest with yourself and the more that it comes out and you go, actually, yeah, that, the more that you'll start to notice through the day. You'll be like, you know what, that actually really annoys me. Maybe it's going to go on my minus list. What am I going to do about it? That can come later. And as I say, once I start doing workshops again, we're going to deep dive into all these things. So lots and lots of love, everybody. Have a great rest of your week. I will see you tomorrow night for meditation and yoga. Tonight, Melody is going to do a later yoga. She's going to trial the 8 o'clock session tonight. So she's making an announcement about that. And then from next week, we'll make the changes. Have a lovely week, everybody. Bye for now. You're most welcome, Marina.